I think it's a thing that each one of my TikTok lives starts with me fussing with my hair. Those of you who saw me yesterday may notice that my hair is a lot shorter than yesterday. I got my hair cut shortly after. And, well, it is summer. And so many times, good morning, everybody. Many times when I look at the camera for my TikTok live, is the first time, like, I don't really look in the mirror a lot. Cue the trolls. It's just funny because it's like, oh, okay, so that's what it looks like, huh? Good morning, me. Nice to see thee. And Maureen and Lily and Sherry. Ellen, thank you very much. Yay, awesome. Good morning, all, and happy Tuesday. Happy. Happy birthday to my husband. Today's my husband's birthday. I could spend the whole hour talking about how much I love him, but that would be not what you're here for, and it would get kind of sappy after a while, and even I would get sick of myself. But yes, happy birthday to my husband. Happy Tuesday, July 9th to you. I don't know. I'm all about the happy. So I think it's kind of unusual, actually. I was just thinking about this, that I am doing a TikTok live from my office, my room, my studio. Actually, it's home. See? Decluttered, people. We had people staying over. Oh, I picked up the dry cleaning yesterday. That I'm inside. It's actually been so hot out that I like to sometimes do them outside, but I'm jumping into a full day of coaching and consultations and birthday greetings. So this is where I usually work from. I like to have, and maybe this is you, I know what helps me focus, what helps me be able to bring the best to whatever I do, and that usually is a shut door, things to look at, but all of my stuff in hand, a nice temperature. I wouldn't be able to do my best work for myself and not show up for my clients if I didn't set it up well. So this is one of the reasons I could easily just start talking about decluttering your home. Is your home set up so that you can easily do the things that you want to do, that you have to do, that you get to do? Is it easy for you to find the things that, the tools of your trade? If you're looking to even just like make a cup of tea. This is so weird for me too, is to make a cup of hot tea because I've been drinking so much iced tea. But is your home in the kind of under the umbrella, under the header of functionality? Is it, here, this way. Tink, tink, tink. Is your home easy? Does your home make it easy for you to do the stuff, to do the things? I love talking about that umbrella. So usually when I kind of jump on here and do these TikTok lives and I'm talking about, decluttering your home, so many of us always just start with the apparent, the one that involves the senses. What does your home look like? What does your home look like? And now that's a wonderful place to start because we are visual creatures and we look at things, and the things we look at make us feel a certain way. That's why art was invented. That's why we, get joy from looking at things that bring us joy, that we feel unhappy when we see something that doesn't look good. So how your house looks, of course, really important. Literally, one of my careers was a visual merchandiser. However, I love going a little bit deeper than how it looks. To me, when you want your house to look a certain way, you can push things aside and shove them in the corner as long as it looks good for that one like Instagram photo. You see those pictures of people with their pantries looking all nice with the clear plastic things, and somebody even like seriously visually merchandising their refrigerator so it looks like Instagrammable. Now again, I have nothing against how it looks, but I am here to help you with the other two really important parts in my mind of your home being the best it can be for you, which is how does it function? And that's what I was talking about earlier. Does your home, the way your home is currently set up, does it make it easier for you to do your tasks, your jobs, your things you have to do, the things you do in your home, are they made easier or harder by the way that your home is set up and also maybe the stuff inside it? So to me, that's kind of functionality. The kind of, is it easy for me to do things around my home? Clutter usually gets in the way, doesn't make it as easy to get things done in your home. And then the best part of it too, I really think, because this is a game changer, because this is where you can use this kind of decluttering skill for other areas of your life, is how do I feel in my home? Does my home make it easy for me to support? Sorry, it's still wicked early in the morning, and I haven't even had a sip of tea. Let me try this so I can rephrase it. Does my home make it easy for me to feel good while I am in my home and when I'm out of my home? Notice easy. I am all about easy. I want it to be easy to look around and see things I love. I want to feel good because I look around and what I see makes me feel good. I want it to be easy for me to do the things, as I like to say. The things you have to do, the things you want to do, the things you get to do. Easy, easy, easy. I don't do this to make it more difficult, nor make it even difficult to sustain. But just thinking to yourself and realizing that there's a connection between how your home is currently and how you is currently can make you realize, wait a minute, if my home isn't, it doesn't look like I want, it's not making it any easier for me to do the things. If anything, it makes it more difficult because I have to dig through stuff to find something. When I find something, I end up finding multiples of them, so I don't know which one to use. It makes it difficult to put it away. If my home is making it not easy for me to live in it, you can do something about this. I can do something about this. I was talking in one person and now I switched gears. Oh my gosh. I wasn't an English major. I speak from the heart. So think about that. Think about if this is a wonderful place. This is where I think it's so cool, because you decluttering your home, you learning a way to do it. Now, I have a system that I use, a process. It's not, there's totally things you do about it, but it is not like rigid. It is, but the framework for it, kind of notice there's like a skeleton behind it, like the framework for it is one you can use in all areas of your life. Basically saying, if I don't like what's going on here in my home, I can do something to change it. And that something is what I teach you when I do these TikTok lives or my videos or the, email list or, one-on-one coaching. I can do something about it. And wow, what an empowering thought. I don't like how this is going. I don't like how this looks or feels or functions, or I can do something about that. And you can do something about that. Doesn't that feel better than it's kind of on par with caffeine in the morning, to wake up in the morning and not only just say, I can do something about it, but when you say something, that's something, I can do something about it. That little one word something, if you're like, I don't know what to do, I can do something. Something is what I can teach you, clutter-wise and otherwise. Yeah. Okay, Kim Meadows 756. I love you that you brought this up, and Shell is saying yes, I do. And this is where I always forget that before I kind of jump into things, I want to, so I met you, Kim. Hey, nice to meet you. My name is Beth, and I'm saying this to everybody who's tuning in. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered, here on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, website, destinationdecluttered.com, yada, yada. So anyhow, I have felt like I move clutter from one spot to another, and you're so ready to declutter. Yeah. Decluttering is decision making. Decluttering, the act of decluttering. Decluttering, Act 1. Decision making. Who is it? When Doris gets her oats. Decluttering is decision making. there is a decision. I'm going to move this I've decided to move this stuff to another room. What doesn't happen when you shove things from place to place, and I've done it myself, my God, I probably still do it, is you are avoiding, you are missing the step of deciding whether you want the item or not. Because that decision right there, the deciding if you want that one item, that requires thought, that requires feeling, and that requires confidence in yourself in what you want. So if you don't have that currently, or it's very low, like the energy's low in that tank of, time to make the decision. That's a lot of times. I don't have time to make a decision on this, so I'm just going to shove this stuff in my room. I have examples of this room when it used to be much more clutteredly merchandised, but also this is the room that we would shove stuff in when we had people visiting all the other rooms because it's private. We could shut the door and nobody externally needed to go in there, but we still knew it, that we were just pushing things from place to place because for whatever reason, we didn't want to make the decision at that point. We probably ran out of time because we didn't manage our time well, so we started too late and we procrastinated. I don't have time to make a decision. I'm just going to put it there. I'll deal with it later. But if you're ready to deal with it, if now is your later and you're ready to deal with it, Kim, let me help you with this. So if you are saying, okay, I've moved my stuff from room to room, from place to place, but it's still the same quantity of stuff, here's a really easy framework, a really easy process to think about if you want to decide to keep an item or not, is noticing how that item makes you feel. Now, everything in your home tells you a story. Everything from I bought that at Target, to that's something that I use for my coaching, to I made that in a craft class, to I bought that lampshade on vacation, to wow, there's a picture of my niece. There's a picture of my friends and I when I think we were graduated from college. Everything in your home is going to tell you a story. What I would love for you to think of is, do I want to keep that story? Do the things around you tell you bad stories? There's evidence of my first marriage that didn't work out. There's that thing that's broken that I keep on meaning to fix, but I don't want to, that type of thing. So think about this thing. Shell, when you're procrastinating, maybe you're procrastinating making a decision. Pick an item in your own home. Everybody, just pick an item and ask yourself, if you're decluttering, you say to yourself, what is this item? So on the surface, it could be a coffee mug. On the surface, it's a coffee mug. That's what your brain, your kind of robot brain says. It is a coffee mug. So you could ask your robot part of your brain, well, do I need it or not? No, you have plenty of coffee mugs. Put it away. Give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. But you're not a robot. You're a feeling human being that responds to stories. This mug right here, I'm not going to give this one away because I got it made. It has my little slogan. Every little bit helps on one side, and the reminder for all of us to slow down, to breathe down, to write it down, to chunk it down. These are the things that when I'm working at my desk and I need a little bit of a reminder of why the heck am I doing all this stuff, I want to remind myself that every little bit helps. And when I look at my mug, it makes me feel good. I also love the size of it, the color of it, the size of the handle. So if I have mugs, I've decided I want to keep this one. But then when I go to keep it, part of deciding to keep something is then, if I'm going to keep this item, where am I going to house it? Where is it going to live? Where's the home in my home for my stuff? Where's the home within the home? Where's the home for my mugs? When I open up the cabinet, the drawer, the cabinet doors for where my mugs go, is there enough room for this mug? Or are there too many mugs? So do I not have enough space for that? That goes to the functionality. Do I have the space to house this? Now, seriously, this can take a microsecond to decide. I'm slowing it down to reveal to you that there is a systematic, repeatable process behind all of this. And every time you do this, every time you make a decision, even with one item, and you decide to deal with it, instead of pushing it to later, or maybe never at all, The more you do that, the stronger that decision-making muscle gets. And I want this to be your driver. I want you to think about this as one of the important things to think about when you are deciding to keep an item or not. Is, well, kind of on the surface is like, do I want it? But do I want it is, kind of, does this, I saw this place, I tend to not use fancy words because I tend to want to go like this. Does this support the life I want? But yeah, does this fit into the life I want to live? Now, I say this because I designed this room. I mean, it's all painted white. It's pretty simple. But I wanted this room to feel light and bright and airy, like when we go to Palm Springs, California. That the sun could shine in, that there would be a lot of bright, cheery colors and not reflective surfaces, but surfaces that could be brightened up by the sun, because this room can get dark sometimes. So I would not probably want to keep, for example, something in this room that was framed in a dark frame. I'm looking at something specific right here. Framed in a dark frame with a gold trim and a cream colored mat. Doesn't fit into here. Does it fit into other areas of my room? Maybe, maybe not. But notice this, you guys, notice even this. I just realized, I'm so funny. I know myself. Slowing down. Slowing down enough to allow yourself the time to make a decision about your items. That's how you do it. This is how we do it. I'm dancing. I get the song in my head. You guys got the song in your head? This is how we do it. Okay? So yeah, giving yourself the time to do the things. Because when you do that, no matter how many decisions, few decisions, no matter what, you will feel better after starting this process. Because if you do it right, and the way I say do it right was like, do I want it? Does this support the life I want? Does this fit into the life I want? Notice that word, kind of that phrase. What do I want? Now, that can be, if you want to get overwhelmed, what do I want in life? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I easily got overwhelmed by that question for the first 25 to 30 years of my life. And so therefore, I was afraid to work that muscle. Because, I grew up kind of in an environment of it doesn't matter what you want, you're not going to get it, so why even try? Luckily, I bucked that system, and I live in a house I love. I am married to a husband whose birthday is today, and we've been together 25 years, and I freaking love him. I have wonderful friends. I have wonderful adventures. I'm here on TikTok chatting to you guys. This is awesome. That all started by me daring to say to myself, even in one little area of my life, what do I want? And me was, I want to live a life that is exciting to me, that lights me up. My definition of my life is going to be different from yours. But dare yourself, love yourself enough, be bold enough to ask yourself the question, what do I want? And don't get overwhelmed by the enormity of the life, because this is great. This is how this works. If you don't know how you want your life in the big, you look at the little and you say, how do I want this one area of my home to look? And you declutter it in a way that feels right. Then you have a little area of your life that looks and feels and functions like you want it to. Then you do a little next to it and next to it and next to it and next to it and next to it. And sure enough, your home is starting to look and feel and function like you want it to. When your home is starting to look and feel and function like you want it to, that's because you've learned that skill of asking, what do I want? And then knowing what to do, which is to calm down, write down, chunk down, all that type of thing, the things I work on with coaching in here. And then you get the life you want. Because if you think about it, this is how I was, seriously. Our lives reflect what we've done in the past. What we did in the past gave us the future, the present we have today. Am I right? Think about it. All the things you did in your past led up to you sitting here today with me on TikTok. And this is a combination of crunchy and smooth, good stuff, not so great stuff. Whatever roads you drove down, here I go, I get the road trip metaphor, people, I will always bring it in. Whatever roads you drove down today got you to the you are here pin on the map of your life. A lot of us did it unconsciously without thinking of it, responding to what other people said we should do, downplaying what we wanted. I know I did. The way that you change the direction where you're going is saying, wait a minute, what I did got me here. Here has some good stuff in it, but there's some things here I want to change, okay? So if I want to change it, here's what I recommend. So first of all, even in that low level, let me give you the courage, because I'm a living, breathing, walking, aging example of this, is you can do it. You can change what you don't like. You have the power within you. I don't know you from Adam, as the old-timey saying says, but you are an awesome person on this planet. If you weren't an awesome person on this planet, you wouldn't be watching me, people. Come on, awesome attracts awesome. You can do this. What I recommend is getting a destination. This is why I call my coaching destination. This is what helped me. See in these shelves behind here, there's a bunch of books. Those are books I wrote. Now, they're not about decluttering. They're about literally taking road trips, driving to places you want to go to. Here are some places that if you like cool vintage places, you would want to drive to. I have been good at driving, but I was scared to do it at first. I know how to do a road trip, and what gets me hitting the road and driving on roads I've never been and doing different things, going to towns I've never been, states I've never been to, is a little heart at the end being like, you know what? That sounds interesting. I want to go there. That's what I want. That's something I want in my life. I want my home, and this is your destination. I want my home to look like fill in the blank. You do you. I want my home to function like, here, secret, you just want it easy. You just want it easy. And I want to feel like this in my home. Here's a little cheat sheet. You may not know how you want to feel, but if you do, write it down. But if you're struggling for good words, think of how you feel now that isn't so good in your house and flip it to the opposite. Okay? Now, I love it. Oh, okay, flexible. Yeah, hey, Kara. So Kara is saying today's big word of the day, we're going to scream real loud, flexible. Literally, that's one of my main words of my life that I want to have. Being flexible. Yeah, trip to Maine was postponed. Oh, well, okay. Sister may have COVID. Good to know. I have to take my mom to, you know what? Things are going to happen. Life happens, people. Life is flexible. That's why life is flexible, but bookcases are not. So you can have a structure in your life, but be flexible with it. Do not be a robot. Because when you are not flexible with your plans, you're gonna set yourself up for disappointment. Okay? Yeah, freedom. But also think of freedom from what? Freedom to do what? The things you're not free to do now? Freedom from tyranny? I mean, it was 4th of July. Freedom from some king telling you what you can do? Freedom from what? Freedom to do what? Think about these things. From restriction. Yeah. What are you being restricted in doing or feeling? I mean, think of restriction. I'm restricted. What am I being restricted? This is where the cool stuff happens. Not just on the surface. A home that looks good on the surface looks good to the casual observer, the person who comes in your front door. Oh, your house looks so nice. Oh, this is lovely. But you live in your house all the time. You know, I almost said you've got this dirty secret. That's bullshit. You've got stuff crammed in the closet. You know, if somebody, don't open that door. This was that don't open that room door. That don't open that door room. And you know, because you live in there all the time. And even if the stuff is away, you don't see it on the surface, you know it's under the surface. You can feel it. You know, you can open up a drawer to go find a pair of underpants to wear this morning, and you're like, oh my God, there's so much stuff in this thing. It's so messy. I got to match up my socks. Those ones are falling apart, but I don't have time. I can't do this now. No time. I'll just grab a pair of unders, put them on, and go. You know, because you live in your house all the freaking time, that it has an effect on how you feel, and you deserve to feel better. Okay, Southern Girl. You bring up a really good point. So Southern Girl is saying, and the reason I repeat these things is because sometimes people are decluttering while I'm on. I'll be here for another 34 minutes, and then I hop off for the day of coaching and consultations. So maybe in the next 35 minutes, if you like what you're hearing from me, you don't need to look at the screen. Pretty much, even what I point to, I will try to describe. That's for people who are going around, You know, as I like to say, putter and declutter. The surface areas. For the next half hour, can you imagine, even if you did it for 20 minutes of that half hour, that wherever you are in like the range of my voice, that little area would look and feel better. Putting away your toiletries, wiping down the sink, maybe putting some dishes in the sink, whatever. Also for the recordings for the TikTok, when the TikTok lives are recorded and put up on YouTube. That just reminds me, I have to download. I'm writing it down. Write down things, people. You're going to forget them if you don't. TikTok live from yesterday. Yesterday was 7/8, and upload. See, I write down things, so I'll do them. Okay. I love this. Kara did said, I forgot, I didn't see the second part. Sorry. Kara says, today's word is flexible, but, yes, use your conjunctions, people, but I can take this time to tackle a few house projects while I wait. Decluttering is therapeutic. It is. When you connect up with yourself, your self, that part of you inside you that wants to live the life you want to live, it can be therapeutic to connect up and say, I am creating a space, a life around me that feels good to me and myself. So I love it. And notice what Kara did. She could be bitching and moaning. She could be looking at it one way. Great, we were supposed to go up to Maine today. I can't. Oh, crap, my sister has COVID. What if I have COVID too? Oh, crap, now I get to spend more time taking care of my mother. I can't even go up to Maine. All of that could easily be what's in your head. But notice how those things make you feel. On the flip side, there's always a flip side, people. Every 45 RPM record, every quarter, every rose has its thorn. Every 45 RPM record, no matter what song it is, has a flip side. The flip side is going to be the opposite. Kara is saying, but, she's flipped the record, but to something better. I can take this time to do something, to tackle a few house projects while I wait. And I know that when I do that, she says decluttering is therapeutic. So if currently all you hear is the negative voices, we're just going to notice that. We're going to put on the brakes for that one, put out the little traffic cop hand in front of your car, stop you from driving down that way, and notice that there is another road. There's a flip side. There's another road from that oh crap, we can't, oh bummer, we can't go to Maine. I can complain about it, complain about not going to Maine, or I can say, you know what, I'm going to use this time to do something good. Okay? Now, as I said, I'm sorry, I just noticed that, so I wanted to, but Southern Girl said, I feel guilty. Now, I'm going to break this down. I like going slow. Going slow is how you learn stuff. I feel guilty because someone gave me the items, so I keep them. Notice you have a feeling in your heart, in your head. You have a feeling. I feel guilty. How does guilt make you feel? Anybody? Guilt? How does that feel in your physical body? When I feel guilty, I'm like, ugh, all right, heavy, not good, frustrated. You know why? Because the guilt is making me feel a different way than I want to feel. I want to feel better. If somebody gave you something and you liked it, you wouldn't buy it. You wouldn't keep it because of guilt. You keep it because you liked it. The thing made you feel good. Notice when you don't like things in your house. That is totally allowed and okay, even if it's a gift. So think about this, and I'll even give you this framework. You have a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling, and when you feel a feeling, you do a thing with your hand. Head, heart, hand. This is how it works with this 1 sentence and a half the Southern Girl said. I feel guilty in my heart because the reason I feel guilty is because I have a story, and I'm going to put little quote marks around it. I have words in my head. I have a story in my head that's just words. Someone gave me that item. So-and-so gave me this. Yes, they did. But do you want it or not? Notice there's the guilt and the conflict comes because you don't want the thing. That is totally okay. But notice if you liked it, you'd have it. You wouldn't be even thinking about it. But you don't want this thing. But, oh, I got to keep it. So-and-so gave it to me. Makes you feel guilty. You're keeping. Who wants to be surrounded in their own home with stuff that just gives you a guilt trip? What I want to say is, how about this? Look at it from the perspective of the gift giver. Now, trust me, the people in our lives, we are imperfect, as are the people in our lives. Okay? So think about it if you gave something a gift. When's the last time you gave somebody a gift? Okay? You are the gift giver. You have something you think somebody will like. Here, have this. Perfect example. My husband's birthday is today. Did I buy him even anything? He bought himself so many things that I'm like, consider it your birthday gift. I did, but I bought him I bought him a box of candies. I did. He loves nonpareils. I got him from the little candy counter at the little old-timey gift, the place across the street. He likes those. I paid attention to what he likes, but let's say I thought for some reason he liked like chocolate-covered gummy worms, something that I don't particularly like. I got him those thinking he might like them. I'm not going to give a gift that you don't think somebody's going to like, but sometimes you don't know. You give a best guess effort. When I first met him, I didn't know what he liked, so I probably bought him a bunch of random stuff. When you give a gift to somebody, you give it with the energy of love in your heart to somebody. Here, I love you. I thought of you. I bought you this. Sometimes you hit the mark and sometimes you don't. Would you want anybody keeping anything that you gave them only because of guilt? I hope not, because what I want to do is don't be the person. I want us to break that cycle of guilt. If it doesn't work for you, you can say, oh, thank you for thinking of me, but no. Or you give it a chance to use it, or you do something, have it hanging around with you, and then you could release it. Because the person didn't give you the thing to make you feel guilty. They gave you the thing to make you feel good. If it didn't work, sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, Vanjie is even saying draining. Guilt exhausts every bit of my energy. Notice that, feeling exhausted, draining of the energy, and then I get frustrated. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Moi says, yes, my niece gave me the world's best aunt mug. It's collecting dust. I don't use it or drink coffee. Now notice she gave it to you because she thinks you're the world's best auntie. I'm going to donate. Thanks, Best, for the Beth idea. I'm stumbling on my own self. You might want to, if you want to, you could take a picture of it to remind yourself of it. Or you know what? I bet somebody else out there would really love, maybe they have an aunt who drinks coffee. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea, So yeah, notice how the things in your home make you feel because they tell you a story. But when you know those two ingredients, the three ingredients, the thing, the story, and the feeling, when you notice that dynamic, it's behind everything in your house. You can then change it if you want to. Now, this is the great thing. Nobody says you have to do any of this. Diana is so funny. Diana says, I use unused cups into pen holders. I do too. However, I have to watch it because then if I don't watch it, I've got pens and millions of things. This was a mug I bought when I was on vacation in Ireland. I thought it was funny because it says, not all are wander, how are lost, and it says, you are here. Remember I told you about the you are here, and then it points to Ireland. I thought it was cool. I also saw very few things in Ireland that connected up with me, even though I'm more than half Irish. Go figure. I bought it. I used it for a while, but it was too small. Notice, I like big mugs, and I can't deny. I like a big mug with a big, easy handle. I'm American. So I did really like this. I wanted to save the memory, but I only keep my my highlighters in there. But please, don't feel like you need to keep anything. I'm not saying get rid of everything, but you get to decide. Moi said, I'm going to donate it. Thank you. Yeah, notice when, yay, that feels good to donate it. It feels good to not be guilted into things. Yeah, Boomer9254 is saying, once you lose the guilt, it's so easy to clean out. The back of my Jeep is full for the drop-off tonight. Awesome. Yeah, I used to keep things out of guilt. I still have a few things. Nothing is ever 100% and perfect. But it's so much. I'm like 98% guilt-free in my home versus 50%, 100%. If I had listened to other people and only decorated my house with things they liked and they said I should use, I would not be living in a freaking home that I love, because they would have said, you can't live in a house like that. That looks weird. You need to live in a traditional home, New Englandy, and like antiques and colonial. That's how I grew up. Brown colonial antiques. That was cool for my parents. They loved that. Me? Meh. Nope. Look at me. Look at me. Look at this one. Look at that one. I get color. I get, stuff from the 20th century. It's very simple and clean lines. That's what I wanted. That's what I started doing. For years, actually, it's so funny. I came across a picture that I took, a snapshot. It was literally like a paper snapshot of my bedroom when I was in high school, junior high and high school, because I couldn't control the whole house, but what I could control was how my room looked. And man, did I collect some cool stuff, and I really do have a knack for making things look visually good. So I did that for years, but it was just on the surface. But there was a closet, there was stuff hidden under things, there were things I didn't know what to deal with. It takes a while to figure out what to do with the stuff that's under the surface, the stored clutter and the sentimental clutter. Maybe this is the time in your life right now where you're saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm kind of done with all that stuff. I want to do something different, but I don't know how because I've spent the last 30 years of my life, 40 years, 50 years, 10 years, 5 years, however long, doing what I do. I don't know how to do anything else because this is what I do. This is when you learn a skill, okay? This is when you learn a skill. Now, decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering at the very bare bones of it, and I love to just peel back the layers until you see the simplicity behind this. And this is how I coach because I like to make it so simple for me because I don't want to get caught up in jargon and stuff. This is how I look at it. Decluttering is decision making. Decision making, and the decision is, what do I want my life to look and feel and function like? Deciding to keep the things that add to that vision, that destination of what your life is, and deciding that it's okay to release those things, that feels good, to release what's not working for me. Deciding with knowledge of why you're making that decision. It's because you have an idea, you have a picture in your head and a feeling in your heart of what you want your life to be, and that's your destination. And then what you do is you compare everything, every item in your home to that vision and feeling. And if it makes the cut, yay, I keep it. And if it doesn't, I let it go. And then I do it again, and each time you do it, it's fewer and fewer. And what you do then, it's like a sculpture. You're removing what doesn't work, and you're left with what works for you, that looks good and feels good, and then functions well, because then you have the right amount to do it. So decluttering is decision-making based on what you want your home to look like and feel like and function like. But decluttering is also a life skill. A life skill that to me often reminds me of, the analogy is driving a car. It is a skill that you did not have when you were born. It is something that needs to be learned. Now, you learned how to handle the items in your home by the way you were brought up. By the people who raised you also gave you thoughts about things. Do I keep it? Do I throw it away? Do I reuse it? Do I bring it in to begin with? Do I shop? Do I not shop? Do I thrift? Do I buy high-end stuff? Do I leave it on the table for months? Do I put it away immediately? We picked up a lot of that from how we were brought up. Yeah, it's how you learn a lot of things when you're a little kid. The eyes, you're just absorbing everything. But that's not how you learn how to drive a car. A skill is something you learn. And you typically learn a skill from somebody else. Like you're an apprentice, woodworking, piano playing, fishing. I don't know. What's another skill? Think of a skill. Decluttering is like driving a car. You didn't know how to do it. But if you learned how to do it, it would revolutionize, it would change your life, it would open up your life, because then you could go anywhere. Driving a car, you didn't know how to do it, you knew it would change your life, so you went through the process of learning how to do it. Now, this may be decades back, because right now you just do it, it's so used to it, but there was a time you didn't know how to do it. Just like decluttering in a way that, at least the way I coach. And so then you say, okay, I don't know how to do it, but I know it's going to change my life. I'm going to need to learn this skill. Now, I could learn from different ways. There's books, there's videos, or I could pay somebody to be my coach. What's going to be the quickest way I learn how to do that? And then when you learn it, you practice it. And now this is how you drive your car every day. It's embedded in your brain. You have created neural pathways in your brain that tell your hands and your eyes and your feet and all of that stuff what to do automatically when you get in the car, so that at a certain point, just like driving, decluttering just becomes what you do. It's a skill, in my mind, it's a skill that not everybody has, and it's a skill that can change your life in the most awesome ways. That's why I decided to show up in your life, because I want to show you that it's not something that just because you've never done it before, it doesn't mean you can't learn. It is a skill worth learning because it just changes your life in the awesome ways, like driving a car. Think about if you were afraid to learn how to drive a car, how your life would be right now. And think about how your life is right now just because you don't have a few tools in your toolkit, skills, tools in your toolkit, thinking about surface stored, sentimental, even knowing that there's a repeatable framework behind a lot of this. Knowing these things and practicing them, this is why I do one-on-one coaching. This is why I show up, to give you the opportunity to start thinking in this way. And then when you practice that, you get better at it, and suddenly you're making decisions based on what you want your house to look like, how you want to feel in your house, and you decrease the amount of stuff coming in maybe. Maybe you increase the amount of stuff that you don't want that goes out. You become happier with the things you do have. You find homes for the things that currently don't have homes. You practice the habit of using items and then putting them away in a good time. You open up your mail. You put away the dishes. It's easy for you to do those things because you don't have fear of what's behind there, or discouraging, unhelpful thoughts, being like, oh my God, that might be a bill. Oh my gosh, when I go to put away my laundry, there's no room for it, so I'll just leave it piled up here. I'm too exhausted. I don't have the time. I need to spend my time on other people and not me. All sorts of wonderfully interesting thoughts are in your head that are stopping you from living the life you want, the decluttered life you want. But the cool thing is, as soon as you tune into that frequency on the radio, you can tell I'm old-timey because I'm turning like a knob, whereas nowadays it's more like a button. You're tuning into that and you listen to that. You don't necessarily believe it, but you notice that that is one half of, that's only one song in your head, is the fear. The flip side is the stuff that if you quieted down the fear, you could listen to that other much better song called Love, called You Can Do This, We Got This, You Deserve to Live a Life You Want Before You Die. This is going to be fun. We can make it easy. Why not get started? You're good, why not start living before you die? This is how I coach. This is how I find value in what I do. I would be so freaking bored, people. Here, I'm just so you know, I'm going to paddle. I got into the deep end, but I'm going to paddle over to the slightly more shallow end. Because I will say the shallow end to me, and there's nothing wrong with the shallow end. It's how you get into the pool. Notice how I talk in metaphor all the time? Is getting into the pool, saying I want to do something. The shallow end is how it looks. That's usually where the stuff people are trying to sell you on TikTok shop ends. Buy these clear containers, your life will be saved. Buy more containers to contain your items, your life will be decluttered. No. Remember at the very beginning, and I apologize, I'm bad with names, somebody said, I find myself procrastinating and just moving things from place to place. Putting items in a container makes you pretend like you did something with your clutter. It makes it look temporarily, it makes it look good on the outside, but you know you haven't dealt with the stuff that's on the inside. And I say dealt with because you know what you do? You kind of fan it out like cards. You look at this stuff and you deal it out. That's this. Here's all my clubs, here's all my jacks, here's all my aces. You categorize them, you deal it out, and then you say, okay, what am I going to do with just this one little pile of cards? Don't be afraid to deal with your stuff. It is so much less, there's so much less fear in it than you think. It's just that you have fear of the unknown because you're not used to it. And yes, I know you have the fear of hearing those unhelpful thoughts. I don't open up my mail because I'm afraid it's a bill. And I'm afraid if I open it up, I'm going to realize I don't have money in the bank to pay the bill. The bill is there anyway. You owe the money anyway. But what you're doing is you're trying to make yourself feel better by not doing the thing. But sadly, the way our brains are kind of miswired sometimes, the things we do to make ourselves temporarily feel better, oh, I'll deal with that later. Looks good on the cut. I'll deal with it later. Is if you don't deal with it later, you end up feeling worse. No, I'm laughing because Moi says, Beth's over here dropping truth grenades. Yeah, always appreciate you. Yes, well, thank you. Yeah, they're like flowery grenades. They're not like the big screen green apples from the apple bombers or whatever in the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. Here's what I want to think. How about this too? Because grenades, it can be like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. I want you, you know what also goes like this? Is a flower. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. I will kick somebody's ass in a heartbeat. Do not get me wrong. Do not cross me. I will cut you. But I only cut you if I have to. Other than that, instead of a grenade that goes down and explodes, I want you to think of everything I've said right now as a seed in a garden, a seed for a beautiful flower that I am just offering you. Here, all these seeds, you can take whatever seed you like out from my hands. I have plenty of them. They replenish all the time. This is how my brain works. You can take the seed, you can plant it in your brain by just thinking about it, even after this TikTok live is over. Plant that and see how it feels to think this way. Do you want to water that seed? Do you want to go visit it again? What you water, what you plant will grow if you water it. So instead of being a truth bomb like this, let's think of it as a wonderful garden. What flowers do you want in your garden? Yeah. No, your blueness. Yes. Yeah. Erin, I will cut you. I will. Decluttering daisies. Yeah. Or delphiniums. Whatever, flower you do. I like sunflowers. I like a lot of those bright, cheery ones. Remember when Gerber daisies were such a thing in the 90s? Yeah, I used to work at Pier 1. We used to have fake Gerber daisies. They were so freaking cheery looking. I like things that are bright and colorful and cheery that look good on a white background. Welcome to me. Notice what is happening, people. This is really cool. There can be a thought in your head that says, I can't do it. This is going to be hard. I will always be this way. I can't change anything. This is all the negative, the fear-based things. Fear stops you from taking action. Fear of all sorts of things. Whatever it is under the umbrella of fear, makes you feel crappy. And when you feel crappy, you don't want to do anything except hide and protect and feel safe. This is how dictators start to rule the world, because they make you feel afraid and then they say, but I'll protect you. Just believe me, I'll protect you. I want to tell you right now, you can change the things that you don't like in your home, in your life, by recognizing fear is on this side and then saying, hey, what's on the flip side? You know what's on the flip side? Love, love, love. And it's true. And trust me, I am not a hippie. I was like punk rock adjacent new waver back in the day, and I still am. But what I will say is, when you have love in your heart for yourself, you're going to be like, yes, I can do this. You quiet down the fear. You shut the fear up, quiet it down, and then you say, you know what? I hear you, but I'm not going to buy into it because I believe I can do something about this. I believe in love. I believe I am worth changing what's in my home. I deserve to live in a home that looks and feels and functions like I want it to. I love myself enough to do something different, to practice something, and realize that the fear is going to be talking. Fear is how you got here. If you don't like where you are, blame fear. If you do like where you are, blame love. And you can do something. But if you're in fight or flight mode and your nervous system is all this and overwhelm and too much and fear, and it's going to take forever and it's too long and it's going to be expensive and I'll never get it done and whatever. It's okay. It's okay. This is what we do. We calm our own little bodies down, our own little kitty cat that's like zing, fear. Our human body goes like this. It gets into, what the heck was that? Oh, this, oh, that, distraction, exhaustion. Then you don't want it. You're like, fine, you do it. I can't even. You can even. What you need to do, and this is why I made this mug for myself, because I get this way too, you need to slow down. You move too fast. You need to breathe down. Did I write that one down? Yeah, I did. I got a whole bunch of downs. Slow down. Notice what's happening. Notice when fear is making you feel a certain way and say, I can do something about this. You breathe down, you slow down, you calm down. There's a wicked lot of downs. Quiet down, settle down, sit down. All the downs. And when you start to pet down, calm down your nervous system, like a little kid who's all flustered and, throwing a tantrum, and you pat their head and you calm them in soothing tones, and it's your kitty or your dog whose hackles are up. You're, shh, that's okay. We used to have a dog named Rigby. I don't know why he was afraid of garbage cans. He was. It's like, Riggs, shh, it's okay. It's just a garbage can. He's like, whoa, what was that? I don't know. Shh, it's just a garbage can. Nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. The only thing you should kind of be afraid of is not living the life you want before you die. Okay? Now, I speak from the side of love. If there is a battle between two sides, love and fear, I'm totally on 100% love. And love can make you kick other people's asses. Do not get me wrong. But love also gives you patience and understanding of what's going on so you can change some things. Okay? So notice what I did right there, too. I'm totally like pulling back the screen and showing you this framework. Is notice when you are not feeling well, you're not feeling good physically. And this can be your body not feeling good, if you're tired, if you ate and drank too much for the past 2 weeks or month, and you feel kind of bloated and like I do. If your nervous system, if your brain, if you're just like, oh, I'm so over, I can't even. If your nervous system, your neurology, whatever you want to call it, isn't feeling good, start there first. Calming down the fear. Noticing it's there. You will always have these two things. They talk about like, the angel and the devil. I'm not really, what I like to think of is you're the driver in a car. This helps me. I want to help you with this. You're the driver in your car. Your car is going to go where you steer it, where you put the gas in and you drive and you get into gear and you drive towards, wherever you drive towards, you're going to get there. But you are influenced by two voices in your car. You're not alone as the driver. You think you're in your car all alone. Think about this when you get in your car today, that you are not alone in the car. You have voices in your head that influence what you do. And I want you to think of this. I want you to think of fear as the stuff that stops you, the stuff that keeps you stuck, that you're not even moving out of the driveway because fear says, don't go there. Don't change. You can't do that. Fear is a little kid in the back seat. I call fear a backseat driver because it will just chatter, chatter, chatter and convince you not to do the things that you know you want to do. Like donating that mug that you don't work. Don't do that. Your niece gave that to you. Guilt, 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 fear, fear, fear. Shame, shame, shame. Hate. All those bad things. When you realize it's a scared little kid in the back seat, a little toddler with tiny little orange hands, you can shut them up, you can calm them down. Say, I know you're there, but I'm not going to pay attention to you. And even if I hear your voice, I'm really not buying what you're saying. What I choose to do is listen to the other voice. You know who the other voice is? It may have a wacky Boston accent because temporarily people say, oh my God, I hear your voice in my head. I want you to temporarily hear my voice so you can realize you have this voice in you too, and this is your co-pilot. This is your co-pilot speaking. Think of yourself on a road trip. You're the driver. You know what makes it easier to drive to where you want to go to? Is a wacky co-pilot. Is a fun, you're the person next to you. They are not behind the wheel either. They're not steering. They're not putting their feet on the gas and the pedal. That's only you. But what they do is sit there in the passenger seat and they're like, hey friend, where are we going? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to have in your house or not? Where do you want to spend your time? Anything you want, I can help you with. That's the voice of love in your life. That's your soul. Maybe it's God, spirit, I don't know. We get 17 different words for snow. Call it whatever you like. I like to call it the universe and co-pilot. Because when I'm a co-pilot, because I am, I got the map, I got the snacks, I make it fun. We're on a road trip. We're not on a commute. It's not a fellow commuter. You're driving the way you want to go. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? Who do you feel better when you listen to the voices in your head? Which one inspires you? Which one empowers you? Which one makes you want to actually live this one life you have? In the best, even slightly scariest way, because you're going to be doing new things. But boy, when you do it, I've never been on a plane before. I've never flown to I've never been to California before. I've never walked up to a stranger and said, hi, I like your music. I've never gone to the El Rey Theater. I've never, said, I like this kind of music. Doing the things you haven't done before gets you the life you want. Love gets you taking those little baby steps, and those little baby steps will lead you to the life you love. Fear, on the other hand, tells you can't do it. You're too old, you're too fat, you're too wrinkly, you're too ugly. You've never done it before, why learn now? This is how I am. I've got ADHD, so I'm trapped. This is how my family is. There's so much stuff, it's going to take so long, never get done, cost too much money. No, 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 no. How about this? Fear is on one side and the word is no. Love is on the other hand and the word is yes. Fear and no is the scary backseat driver. Love and yes is your wonderful co-pilot who's just sitting there waiting for you to answer the question, so where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And it doesn't have to be, oh, my life is all mapped out in this glorious thing. You can say, you know what? I want to feel better. You know? I want to feel better. Better than what? Well, I'm currently feeling, and then you realize that there is some good info from the guys in the back actually help you make your plan. Because it's only one kid typically. I used to say there was 3, fear, but it's just different variations of fear. Okay. Southern girl saying I have to hop off, but I'll definitely join again. Cool. I do TikTok lives until I don't. I'm going away for a few days later this week. I cannot believe it's already Tuesday. But I'm here all the time. Get on my mailing list if you want. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. I have a free mailing list. We do a monthly group Zoom. It's great. You're gonna love it. And I just realized I've been so in the zone right here, talking with y'all and sharing. Thank you for giving me this. Thank you. I want to honestly share, because I'm realizing I've got 3 minutes and I jump right into a coaching session after this. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again. Now, I say that because being in the deep end of the pool and knowing how to swim is where you can find out cool stuff. And this would not happen if I stayed on the surface. This is one reason. This was actually kind of neat for me because what happened was you guys, I think, were listening. There weren't a lot of comments. So then there was space and quiet where I felt okay to kind of go deeper. Notice how space and quiet allows you to think these deeper thoughts and get into it. This is why I'm going to start a podcast. And I swear I will. I'm going to get it started before my birthday because I know there's so much value in starting in the shallow end. No lie. But then going to the slightly, deeper, and then you're going to get to a point where your toes are there, but you can float. Okay? So in the last minute or so, what I just want to remind you of is, first of all, these are seeds that I am just, Johnny Appleseed, Betty Appleseed, offering to you. If you think you want that flower to grow in your brain, that thought sounds interesting to you, take a seed, plant it in your brain, and just walk around with that thought. Even just noticing fear and no and love and yes are in you all the time. Which one do you feel better believing in? And not feel better in your core, in your heart, in your nervous system. Even if it's a little bit tingly because you're like, whoa, I've never done that before. Whoa, I'm going to have to do something different. You can do this. And if there's something in your life that you don't like, in your home and elsewhere, you have the power to do something about it and to do something to make it be the way you want it to be. I think that's a really good place to stop. Namaste, y'all. And I will see you tomorrow, okay? This will be recorded. This is recorded, and it will be up on the Destination Decluttered email or the YouTubes. However, if you're on the email list, you get first dibs. If you're not on the email list, you won't be able to watch this one until August. So if you want to watch this one, later this week, and I got to figure out what I just said. I kind of got in the zone. Join the mailing list, DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Just hop on. It's wicked easy, okay? I will talk to you tomorrow, okay? Bye.